Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing the awful Manchester United against Brighton. I'm going to go a little Manchester United rant here for a second because I'm bringing in a new manager, and quite frankly, I don't really rate this guy in the first place. You bring in a manager that can only coach one way. He's openly said that in press conferences. He's got one way and one system. That's all he can do. Okay, and you bring him in and you don't have the players to support that manager, you're leaving that manager out, hanging him out to dry, and basically your team's going to just lose every weekend because you know what he coaches. He only coaches one way, he's only got one system, and you don't have the players to fulfill that system. You do not hire him. You're just going to make him look stupid, you look stupid, and all the players on the field. A lot of these players at Man United are probably a lot better than they actually are, but playing in this system, it does not work for them. So if you make that decision and you're supposed to be the biggest club in the world, that means you have got the stupidest people in the world running your club, unless you're purposely trying to drive the club into the ground, which is the only real explanation. As bad as the old manager was, at least he was trying to do things with the players. And if you're bringing in a new manager and he only coaches the one way, you better make sure you've got all the players he needs to do the job. And in the transfer window, you should have been picking those up, which they haven't. Man United is done. Like, they're not going to recover from this. What they don't realise is when they start to look for new players, they'll be so low in the league table, nobody will want to come to them. This is basically set themselves probably back another 5 years making this decision mid-season. It's absolutely awful. Now let's just get on to some of the goals, because on Dennis Law's sort of testimonial, they should have been putting a little bit more harder work. But let's just watch this here. Right, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players to do one thing: pressure the football. Of course, they're not pressuring the football. They're stood there watching. Now, I'm going to explain that on Monday's coaching session, and you're going to see and understand exactly why the modern footballers do not understand of how and when and why to pressure the football. It is coached in them. They think the football is just a thing. They just cover their shape and their structure and all that other stuff, and every single person forgets about the football. Now, you've got half your team not pressuring the football, and you've got centre-backs in the Premier League. Guess what they can do? They can put a 45-yard pass on the money. All of them. So when you're giving them this much time and space, it's easy. So as we move this forward, look, whoa, we've got the guy that should be pressuring the ball telling somebody else what to do. So we know on this channel, in the next 5 seconds, someone's about to score a goal. So now what we've got to look at and think about is what's really going on, and how, when this ball goes in behind, is it easy? What's really going on? I'm stopping this mid-flight here as this ball's going because I want to show you this key component here, with De Ligt coming out of position, misreading a pass into the middle here and coming out to a player because this guy's not doing his job. He's overcompensated, which has allowed this to happen in the first place, this extra space in behind. Now, first off, you shouldn't be beaten from a ball in behind at this level so easily, which they are. Boom, off he goes. Curved his run perfectly, but you can see there's a massive gap there, and that's why, because De Ligt has gone for walkabouts into the middle of the field for no reason. And I'm going to show you there's another angle that can show it really easily of how he's gone. He would be about here covering this. He's not. He's playing in the midfield. Why? Because the midfield aren't actually doing their job properly, because they're not pressuring the ball properly. So what happens when the one here doesn't do the job properly, then the midfield don't, and the defender steps up, and guess what? You're exposed at the back. But it comes from the front. Not just from De Ligt there. See, that's the thing. Everyone go, oh, yeah, but he's made the mistake. Yeah. He's made this mistake because he's made the mistake because the guy in front of him has made the mistake. And that's what happens. One person does it wrong and it floods through the team and you have an open space at the back. And I'm going to show you that on the other angle so you can really understand it quite well. As the ball drops here, honestly, I back this guy to go and score on his own. Doesn't, knocks it across. And quite frankly, Anana's I never thought he was good. When I couldn't believe that they let David De Gea go. I think he was like 30, 31-ish, something like that, which is coming into your prime years as a goalkeeper. And they let David De Gea go because he wasn't a ball-playing goalkeeper. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever heard in football ever. You know what? Do you know how many times David De Gea kept Man United up in the top 4 and doing well because he was a good goalkeeper? This guy's not even close. Simple little tap in. Brighton get themselves a goal. Let's move it on. Okay, this is the angle I wanted to show you. Have a little look. No pressure on the ball. De Ligt thinks he's fizzing the ball into there, so he panics because this guy isn't close enough to receive it, right? What's really happening is there's a curved run right behind here, keeping him on side. Maguire's just a little step too deep. If we drew a line, we'd probably... That's a brilliant line, Cash. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You can see there's a little bit of where he's a little further back that gives him space to run into. But more importantly, De Ligt just runs forward. Watch this. Just goes. As soon as he goes, that space is open. Everything is on. Oh, yeah, we're done. Because the system isn't right. The players don't know what they're really doing in it. And you don't even have pressure on the ball from your front man. So 1, 2, 3, make a massive mistake. And then they're in for the goal. Let's move it on. This is a case of their system working correctly when they do have pressure on the ball, and then when the ball gets put in, they've got numbers to actually win the ball back. This is how it's supposed to work. The problem is when it doesn't work and you're conceding goals, you're never going to get to this point because the actual confidence you'll get from doing this has been eradicated by the negative of you not doing it. And what you end up doing is doing neither and dropping off and getting caught out over and over and over again. You need the confidence of getting it right in at least 5 to 6 games, and they're not. Man United are not. So when this ball gets played in here, because we're just really going to talk about the penalty, because I don't think it is. I really don't. Actually, let's just jump to that, because I'm going to show you why I don't think it is. Okay, remember, contact's not a foul. Is his arm going over his head? Yeah, kind of, but it doesn't really touch him because he kind of ducks. And this is why I wouldn't give it as a penalty, because of this here. Right? It's soft. If he goes and gets hit in the head and goes down forward head first, yeah, penalty all day long. Because you hit him in the head and his head's gone down first. But he doesn't. He buckles his legs. Look, watch. Bump. Fallen. No, sorry. Get up. I wouldn't have given that. No way, shape or form. I know the ref does. In the modern day, apparently it's a penalty because contact of any shape or form is a penalty. And I think this was Manchester United's only shot on goal throughout the entire game, which shows you how poor they are, that their best assist merchant in this game was this man stood right here. Ratface steps up, takes himself a goal. He's decent on the penalties. You've got to give him credit where credit's due. Slots it, looks to go that way, gave the keeper the eyes, puts it right easily there, does the keeper, gets himself a goal. So here we are on the transition, and I'm going to show you 3 Man United players that have no idea what they are doing. Okay, because he's not pressuring the ball. Look at his body shape. He's running away this way. He's running away this way. And he's running away that way. Every single player is running about every single different direction, except for we can actually kind of excuse him because he's got a player with him and he's still kind of looking at the ball. He's not, and he's not. So here's the football, and watch their movement when Brighton player just turns slightly inside here. Watch the movement of these 3 players here. Watch this. Watch. All of them have to stop, turn, and change their body shape. They're all completely and utterly taken out of the game. When you have to stop and change your body shape, that's 3 little clicks, okay? And he's just carrying on moving forward, going in the same direction. And your momentum's not with you. And then what you've got is the startup, what I call the startup clicks, when you've got to start up your pace again and get after the person. 3 players are taken out of the equation. Bearing in mind, he has run past the football. But remember, we'll cover that on Monday, and you're gonna when I tell you this and you see this, you're gonna know the coaching sessions, and you're gonna see him in people's warm-ups, and you're gonna go, "Oh, a coach is really this bad all across the world, Cash." I'm gonna go, "Yes, they don't have a clue. They genuinely don't." Right. So 3 players here have been taken out because, well, their body shape is wrong. Why is their body shape wrong? Because they don't really quite know their shape and system. So as they're backing up, they don't really know where they're supposed to be going, and they don't really understand, okay, we've got to get to the football. So it makes it very, very easy for Brighton. So they knock the ball out wide. Oh, there's a foul there. There's a blatant foul there. This is encapsulating Man United games you're watching as well. Watch. One guy got his arms up because there's a foul. Watch what happens in a second, all right? Just keep watching what happens. All of a sudden, you've got now someone who's completely free because when those 3 players were making a mistake, the one guy, Brighton player, who's here making a nice little run, they forgot to carry on marking him, and now they're somehow going towards to pressure the ball for some reason, because somehow Harry Maguire thinks he's going to get over here and pressure the ball and just leave the man that was behind him. They got behind him a second ago, 1 second ago. So when the cross comes in, it's just a case of, do you have the appetite and the strength to really take a hit from the post and and actually just finish it off. But more importantly than that, when this cross comes in, I want you to have a look at the keeper as well, because I think he can do a better job. Here we are. It's not going to be a great 1, 2, 3 players allowing the ball to get through them. He's still got his arms up. Watch this though. This is going to be funny. So let's just put this cross up. And the reason the keeper cannot come from this is because of his starting position is so bad. Remember, a lot of football is about your starting position. And if he is 1 yard further up, it doesn't look like much, but it is, he can come and claim this. But he's not. He's so far back on this line. He's in complete and utter panic stations. So ball drops in. We're looking for a little touch. Oh, it's the guy on the back post. It's not the guy in the middle. He's gone down. Just a decoy. And now here's the clatter and the crash on the back stick here. And this is the other hilarious thing. Within 2 seconds, someone else has got their hands up, screaming to the referee. Play football, boys. Stop asking for the referee's help. That's one of the biggest problems. If you just played the game, you'd be able to maybe win a game of football or do something. Stop constantly, both teams here, 2 different players, asking for decisions from the referee. Meanwhile, the people that did carry on and played scored a goal. And you've got 3 United players stood around, couldn't block a simple cross. Let's move it on. Okay, this is schoolboy error, like level defending, completely and utterly. So when this ball gets passed out wide here, right, you don't really want to get tight to your player because the space is the danger behind you because of where the line is, all right? If the line is further up, further back, you can afford to. If it's further up, you generally don't get involved again because all the player's going to do is when he's pinned at pace like that is play it straight behind you into the space you've just come from. Okay, you've come this way, he puts the ball that way, you are done. I don't know how you're playing professional football. It's obvious that this is going to happen. You do not get suckered in like this. You just kind of hold and wait. The minute he receives the ball, then you can go to him. Because you're isolated out here, because you've got a player inside and a player outside. You've got no one really there to help you, so you can't do it. Oh, if you want to learn how to defend 2v1, this is a classic example. Let me just tell you right now. If you've got 2v1, 2 of either one, what you do is you drop off and take the space away. You let him have the football, and then as he comes towards you, you back away a little bit, and then you try, when they make a mistake, to try to win the ball, because they will make a mistake. So after you've exposed yourself by coming and running in here like a complete nutter, now again, it's the system that's dictating that because you've got the 5 here. You've got no one else over here to pressure the ball. You don't have a midfielder. That's a lot of the reason why people coach 4-4-2, 4-3-3, by the way, is when you've got your 4, you've always got, when you've got your 3, you've always got 3 players on the wing that can come back and do the job here. Even though it kind of looks like this, that isn't the case in this system. So it's really funky the way they're setting up, and they're going to get, if you're playing with this lineup this far, you're going to get done in this space behind. And this is quality play from Brighton here because all this area is exposed. He's not wasting his time taking it down. He's just firing it across and saying, hey boys, someone come and run in and get on the end of that. But thankfully, the goalkeeper comes out to claim the ball, which of course he should do. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper's a nana, and when he catches the ball, holding on to it is a bit of a hard task. Look, he's got it perfectly in his hands. He has the ball, problem over, no issues whatsoever, and then drops it. Yeah. Did he have a bet on the game for that guy to score? Because that's what it looked like. He almost like threw it at him and went, there you go, mate. Kick that in the net box. Cheers, Chief, I will. That's basically what happened. And then, God, the game's over. Because when you're in 2-1, you're always in a game because you tie it to 2-2. You got a bit of confidence, and then game's over. Look at the heads go down. The heads have gone. Everybody knows it's another shocker. Absolute shocker from United. I think with this transition they made at the coach this year, it could really, really damage United. I might just do a separate video on it because it is so big when you actually start thinking about the implications that's going to happen. They're not going to be able to bring in new players. The old players are just awful. Even if they sell the old players, they don't have any money. So you can't like revamp the squad and buy 12 new players because the money's not there. They're in so many problems, and it's all for their own doing. It's all for their own stupid mistakes. Sometimes when you've got a bad manager like Ten Hag, you just stick with him until you're in a situation where you can do something about it, really. Not in the mid-season and get a new coach that's going to coach players completely different than the ones you have in a completely different system. I mean, it's insane. But other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.